Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, today's presentation will be dedicated to addressing all of those things that the cats just aren't too fond of. And I've got an order of 10 right here on deck. And while there is certainly more than 10, I'm only going to talk about 10 here today. Now, while hate is a strong word, obviously, I'd say that it fits, at least for some cats, because for every no big thing type of feline, if you ever try some funny business with the wrong cat, you'll wish you hadn't. And I think we've all seen those type of episodes play out in some capacity. At any rate, let's kick things off with change. And this one can be defined and presented in many ways, from the most obvious to the most subtle. You don't have to move a mountain to cause your cat to become on edge and anxious about their environment. Why? Because cats, they are creatures of habit, creatures of routine. In many ways, the same things are a sign of safety and security. This is why most any change can throw some cats for a loop and catch them completely off guard. Change as in new furniture in the home. Change as in the feeding time at a different time. Change as in new and unfamiliar bedding. Change as in a strange water bowl. The list is endless. And while this is certainly not to say that cats can't get used to something new, it could take a while, depending on what has been altered. Next up, let's talk sounds. Loud and unfamiliar noises. Unfamiliar being the key word. Fireworks, house-rattling claps of thunder. Some repairman in your attic just knocking around. Roofers putting on new shingles. Geese a-laying, pipers piping, drummers drumming. All of that. Anything that's loud but not common. This can scare cats for the obvious reasons. Why? Because whatever it is just doesn't happen often enough for any level of familiarity to truly set in. As a whole, cats really don't mind noise. They mind noise that is not familiar. This is why your cat doesn't freak out over your ice machine, but could freak out over someone making noise in your attic. And just like unfamiliar noise, some cats have trouble dealing with unfamiliar people. Strangers have invaded the safe zone. This can be quite traumatic, especially for a full-time house cat that really has no human interaction outside of the obvious. Relatives come over, friends come over. Many cats struggle with unfamiliar people entering the security of the home. What about discipline? Scolding your cat, raising your voice, yelling. Well, it could work with a child, perhaps, but it's not going to get you anything done, it's not going to get you anywhere, I should say, with a cat. All that verbal scolding really does is make your cat even more confused and potentially anxious and afraid. If you reveal a side that your cat has just never seen before, in the form of a raised voice, a voice of anger, your cat probably will not be a big fan. And of course, what's the flip side of a verbal scolding, all that yelling? Well, it's probably nothing at all. And some cats hate this just as much. Being ignored. Meows that go without a reply. If you ignore your cat, especially when they're attempting to get your attention, this can be incredibly unsettling, especially if your cat is used to you responding. This is another action, or in this case, inaction, that can create stress and anxiety for your pet. And another thing that many cats dislike with a passion is an improper litter box. Either not big enough or there's simply not enough litter. This can cause great frustration, and if you're not careful, it could potentially cause your cat to seek other outlets. And that is the very last thing that you want. So, always make sure that your cat's litter box is large enough for those important intentions, let's say, and also make sure that your pet has more than enough litter to cover the waste. And speaking of improper, what about that water bowl? Is it large enough? Wide enough? Is the water fresh? Some cats can suffer from a bit of whisker fatigue. If your cat has to touch the sides of the bowl in order to get a drink, this could be an issue, as some cats just don't like the feel and can become very annoyed, and perhaps even enter a measure of discomfort. Wide bowl, fresh water. That'll keep your cat quite happy. And moving right along, let's talk physical human contact. Many cats dislike being forcibly held, being picked up when they didn't initiate any measure of desire or affection. And being held? No. I think we've all seen some cats turn into wiggle worms when they just don't want to be picked up or held for a long period of time. Some cats just tolerate it, but other cats will put up a fuss. Cats hate being forced to give up that control, and being forcibly held is a common thing that many cats just can't stand. And rounding out the list of 10 things cats dislike about us humans, lack of privacy and a lack of recreation. Some cats can get quite annoyed if they don't have their own spot to rest and relax. Because for as much as many cats really do love attention, they don't like being bothered, and there is a big difference. If a cat is having to share life with us all of the time, they can become a bit frustrated. This is why your cat should always have their own little home within your home. As for a lack of recreation, well, it's quite simple. Cats need to be allowed to be cats, even if that means running around in your living room and doing battle with that shoestring. Hey, it's something and it's better than nothing. Cats must be able to play out those natural instincts, stalking, hunting, running around, being curious. They have to have it in order to be happy and content. And if they don't, they'll become very anxious and on edge. And this can lead to aggression if they don't have it, and even some self-harm in severe cases. Well, by my count, that's 10 up and 10 down. And with that, I'll turn things right on over to you, the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness. Viewers, help me out. Any thoughts on this topic? Anything that you'd like to add to the list? What stands out the most to you? The comment section, as always, it's all yours. And until next time, I do thank you so very much for taking some time out of your very busy day to join me right here at Senior Cat Wellness. Did you like what you heard today? If you did, please feel free to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, we will talk to you later.